I rarely have a chewing gum. If somebody has one and give me one, but otherwise, and I don't buy any. I buy mints. Especially if you're coaching clients, you're like, I have a little mint before I see you.
Yeah.
But I also like this.
I learned that one off Joey.
Oh, the mint
When
thing,
I was doing training with Joey, he always used to be like, "You want a mint, bro?" And I'm like,
Don't say no.
"Well, I do. Of course, I want one. Like, super good." Is that the eucalyptus stuff? My buddy, I've tried some of that. That makes your eyes water.
That makes you shine.
I'm just gonna smell it from afar.
No, it's good.
Your sinuses are clear.
Wait a minute, it's gonna happen.
Wait for the aftertaste. This is what gets me.
No, there's no aftertaste.
You don't get the aftertaste?
No, it's read what's in it. There's no aftertaste.
I feel like you can see the future. You can have a few drops.
You just breathe. I love it.
Oh my god.
It's just honey, peppermint,
All good stuff.
honey, deionized water, menthol crystal, apple cider, peppermint, eucalyptus oil, lemon oil, aloe vera.
As I said, my buddy has some, and
I like having it before training as well.
why is it a dietary supplement as well? I don't know, if those are the good stuff in it, right? Apple cider vinegar, manuka honey. I'm getting back into honey.
I never stopped. Honey is like, I have honey every day. I love honey. Tastes good. It's just, I don't know. If I didn't have it with anything, like I'll just chuck it on top of my fruit. When I have my papaya,
Honey?
lime and honey.
Have you ever been on a podcast before?
Yes, once.
Tell me about it. How did it go? How was your experience?
Well, it was with Joey,
Oh yeah,
so it was kind of good.
on the Jungle podcast. What did you
Yeah.
guys talk about?
About a bit of my journey in this life and how I got into Sydney, and then like Australia actually, and then Sydney, and how I got into doing what I do now.
Yeah.
So it was he actually got a very good title, which was kind of like, how do you get to do what you want to do in life? It's like you have to go through some fights to do what you want to do, or be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Not even who you want to be, who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And some people do go through those and some don't, and I'm one of the ones that I had to. And it's hard, but I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, of course. Well, this podcast is obviously way more professional than the Jungle one.
Oh,
No, it's not.
I agree. You look more professional than Joey.
Yeah, man, just trained. I stink like sweat, but
You're wearing tank.
wearing a tank top. I mean, it's different with the mics as well, in the sense that you kind of have to lean over to these ones versus those ones that kind of you can prop up and put them in a comfortable position.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
That's all right.
Though.
That's all right.
We'll make it work.
Look. Hopla.
Oh my god,
Yeah. See?
that's a game changer. Holy moly! And I put up your gain as well, which I just checked what gain means. It means like the amount of ambient noise.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, Tima's going to sit back and relax. That's fine. I'll just turn up the gain. But now we can adjust the chairs.
See? Much better.
I saw a photo with these ones. Apparently, you're meant to kind of like, but
Away
with
from
Dylan,
them?
the first episode, I listened back and I noticed that like he had it set up like this, and I was like, he sounded way better. It's probably
So
because
not
he's
too-
way smarter
too
anyway.
close. I don't know about that. He's a cool kid. Smart kid, I don't know, but cool. He's a cool guy.
I reckon I've listened to a lot of the Jungle podcasts. I don't know why I didn't listen to yours. I feel bad now.
Because you didn't get to the best one yet,
Maybe.
you know?
I listen to like, well, no, that's a lie. I've listened to a fair few of the coaches' ones, but not Tima's. What's your surname?
Abdallaoui.
Yeah, okay. I'll give it a listen. And then maybe all the information that we extract from this one, I'll be like, I could have just gotten that from listening to the podcast.
Yeah, but it's a different... It was 3 years ago, almost, 2.5 years ago.
Lots
or something.
changed.
Yeah, maybe a lot's changed, Like
Yeah.
the heart of it is the same, or my story then is the same. But then I can add a little twist to the story now because I've been here for a bit longer and I was very fresh at that time. So yeah.
Do you like talking about yourself?
I don't know if I would say I like it, but I got comfortable talking about myself because before I think it wasn't necessarily talking about myself. It was like being open enough and feeling, like not feeling vulnerable, talking about it. And I think now I do, because I think it's actually being strong to do that. And because sharing this might help other people be like, you know what, I actually lived the same thing, or it just makes you connect with people more. So I like to talk about the story now, because I think it's the story of a lot of other people.
Yeah, because I notice in the coaches meetings you're very confident and outspoken, and it's a very attractive quality, because when you speak, you definitely have this way of commanding, might be a strong word, but people listen. And as I said, you have something to say and you say it. And as I said, I think it's a very admirable quality. But I know for myself, I say I like conversation, but sometimes when it's a conversation about me, I get uncomfortable. And I didn't realize that until recently when, we're talking with whoever and it's like, what about you? And I'm like, like I'll share something and be like, what about you?
Yeah.
And I feel like as coaches, we develop this really good quality where we're great at talking about other people.
Yeah.
Because most of our role is, hey, tell me about your day. How's things going? And so when you get the chance to sit down and someone's like, Tima, what's your story?
Yeah.
Can feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does. It really does. But I think I just got more comfortable with my story. So it became easier to share it. And I think it's very hard to give yourself credit, to whatever you did in your life. It's easier to say, oh, you know what, that person did that and that. Wow, good on them. But you actually did way more. But you won't give yourself that credit. And I think I learned to do that. Like, it's just you get into that, you learn to self-love or just and it's a good thing. But also you learn that doing that, you may show somebody else that there is a different way, or that this is the way, or that they can do it as well. So it's not like you're bragging about yourself and, you sharing a reality, and it may be a good reality, but with the good, there was a lot of shit. So it's worth sharing it. I think.
I think I know what you mean. And the only reason I know what you mean is because I feel the difference between when you talk versus, say, someone else. Like, the word authenticity gets thrown around a lot, particularly in Instagram. Like, even in the coaching space, it's like, I'm an authentic coach. It's like, well, I think I, as a consumer or a potential client, I don't know if you're authentic until I meet you. And then I can feel it in what you're saying. And so, to your point around, it's not bragging, it's sharing something in this genuine way where you hope someone listening might get something out of it. And as I said, I would use the word authenticity to describe that. And the only reason I would use it to describe that is because I met you and I feel like I feel you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. And that's what I actually want people to feel me. Because then there is no bullshit. Yeah. You can sell something and look like something or whatever, but when people get to know you, they see through the bullshit. It's not difficult. It just takes a little bit of time and then you can see it.
Do you find there's a difference between what others give you credit for versus what you give yourself credit for? Maybe another way to rephrase that is, the things that others are proud of you for, are they different to the things that you are most proud of yourself for?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I just, again, it's like learning to give yourself that, credit and be, proud of the things you achieved. And it's if you asked, years ago, even before I get to, this whole journey, if you asked friends I used to study with and say, what's the thing that you like about Tima, or about Tima, they say, oh, she's a go-getter, she's a leader, they saw me like that. She's strong, but I didn't see myself like that. So I would probably have described myself differently. And then I learned to accept that that is who I am, and there is nothing wrong with it. So now, yes, I would describe myself more like that, because I feel like I earned that position, and I feel like I can back it up. And before, maybe because I'm older as well.
Yeah.
But I think before it was you are somebody, and it's hard to sit in that skin, and you can feel a bit of guilt, a bit of, because there is always how people see you around you, how your family sees you, and that really doesn't have the same weight. And then when you get rid of the guilt of like being somebody else or somebody different or somebody you should not be, or not the person you should be, then you start, what people think of you and what you think of you start matching, if you're actually very authentic. Because otherwise people may think something of you and you think completely a different thing, but you're probably right, because you know yourself. But when you're just who you are with anybody, and it's hard, because it means that people may like it or not, so they may like you or not. When you fine with that, then it becomes easier to think about yourself the way people think of you.
Can you give me any specific examples in your life?
Well, the easiest way to like explain, I think who I am now and what are the things that I stand for is, I grew up having to be somebody I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was that?
Just don't do the things you like to do. Don't be yourself. Don't speak up. Don't express yourself. Don't communicate.
Sure.
Don't be physical. Don't everything that I am. And then first you have to accept that's who you are, and then you have to learn that there is nothing wrong with it, so you shouldn't feel guilty. And then you have to take a step towards being that person, regardless of what everybody else wants for you or think of you. And then taking that step is very difficult, because it means that you are going to go through like a long way by yourself, with a big rupture with the people that...
It's like a breakup, isn't it?
Yes, supposed to be the closest to you or support you the most. And that can be very difficult. It takes a long time, because it doesn't just happen. You go, I'm
you
fine,
don't just move,
and then you go back down, and then you do it again, and you're like, I'm great, but now you go back. That feeling of guilt or hurting, or I'm not doing the right things, or I'm not the good person, it always comes and then goes. But then as you grow up and as you become more comfortable with what you do, that feeling comes back less and less, and then hopefully one day, never again, it comes back. I'm not there yet. Sometimes, it hits me and I'm like, oh damn, here you are again, and then a week later I'm like, I'm such a bitch, I'm such a boss, that's it. I do me and I don't care. Cool. So it's a long journey, and I think it would never really be over, which is life. You just always work on things. It's kind of the
point, isn't it?
It is the point. Change is the point, right?
That's a good slogan. Someone should.
Through that change, is a lot of adversity. There is a lot of I love myself, but then I hate myself. And there's a lot of I love you, but then I hate you. It's for me. It was, I think, my relationship with my family is very complex, but at the same time, it made me who I am. This leader I want to be, this fierce woman I want to be, this strong woman I want to be mentally and physically. This teenager who, wanted to crash everybody around, growing up into getting a corporate career, crushing every single man I had on my way. You know, I wanted to be better than anybody and better than any man on my way.
Yeah.
Then I realized that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I just want to be the opposite of what I should be, or, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how I quit my job. But
yeah. Well, you kind of described in your own words what changes the point is, right? Like that idea that you might grasp some, you know, a state of absolute bliss. You're like, I am the fucking boss. And then, like you said, you wake up one morning, or I don't know, something happens and you go right back down into that sort of little insecure teenager. And it's like, yeah, but that shift in your state is the thing that's necessary to get you to the next evolution, if you will.
Yeah.
So I always have a tough time just like explaining what changes the point means. And I think that's by design, because that whole slogan or that whole state or that whole principle is meant to be quite nuanced. And that's why I think even as coaches, and we've talked about this in the meeting, but we have this romanticized perception of what it means to change. It's like someone might come to you and be like, they see you swinging kettlebells and fucking choking people out. They're like, I'm gonna do that. But it's like, they don't generally think about the fact that they have to be choked out a lot before they can do the choking out.
Yeah.
And so, as I said, what you're describing is in a sort of, in your own way, what it means to change. And like you said, you're kind of living proof of that now, and it still happens every day, right? Like there's all these fluctuations and whatnot, but it feels to me now that you have a much better sense of yourself and you can return back to that when it gets really overwhelming. Is that right?
Yeah. Now I also accepted that it's okay for me to feel like that. That it is part of me being strong.
Yeah.
While before, I would not deal with that well, because I cannot be weak. I have to be strong because I just have me, so I have to be strong. I remember when I was early 20s, like 19, and I'll say, I don't cry. Why would you cry? I don't cry. What a dumb thing to say. Yeah. But at that time, it really meant for me that I was strong. So I don't cry. I'm too strong to cry. And in reality, I just couldn't get there because I would completely break down. That's what it was. And then eventually you do break down. Yeah. And you want to throw punches? Well, you need to learn to take punches. And I think that's what, led me to do martial arts. I was angry. I was hurt. I was everything. I was lost. I didn't know, what to do. And then one day I thought, I need something like some hardcore.
You need someone to hit.
Something. Yeah. I don't know what. And I was like, boxing, something like that can be good. Yeah. And at that time, I was still in my corporate job. I used to be a buyer in the food industry, and I worked in Paris in those big offices. And you just go to the office in the morning. You never know what time you're going to leave at night. And then I found this gym that was not too far, and they had classes from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Welcome to Parisian life. Yeah. So that was great for me because I knew that 7:30 p.m. I'll be good to leave the office. Yeah. So I started training like that, and I just rocked up to my first class, and I was just blown away. That's it. That was what I needed, because I think I just needed to punch shit. And it helped me a lot.
So you knew as soon as you walked into that gym that this was the missing piece, if you will?
I don't know if it was a missing piece, but I just thought, this is for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You had that sort of...
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's really interesting.
This is for me. The next day, I remember at lunchtime, my break, I went straight to the shops and I bought gloves and I bought everything to go back the next day. And that was it. Like, I just fell in love with it. And I was good at it. And I was like, all right, this is a good thing for me. But I didn't think it would become what it is now for me. That was, I don't know, 12 years ago. And yeah, that makes me feel old. And yeah, it really changed my life. And I believe this type of training, doesn't matter what type of training, right? You can do a lot of things. A physical expression is very helpful, but with martial art, you don't have just the physical expression of lifting something heavy and feeling good about it. Is also being threatened by something coming your way, and you have to be calm and deal with it and dodge the thing.
Yeah.
Just like when things come at you in life.
Yeah, barbells don't punch you.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it really is, to me, I think it's just the best image to life. It's, you're going to go through something hard. Like when you're rolling, it's the same. Okay, yeah, well, you may end up in, you know, somebody has your back. It's like, okay, damn, like I have, my back is taken, they have 2 hooks, what do? Well, find a way. Don't give up. You may be choked out at the end, but probably fight for for 2 minutes before they can get it. That's what life is. And I think that for me, it was like, okay, well, you're a fighter, so you're just going to fight this thing until you get to where you need to get to.
So what was it then and what is it now? Then it sounds like it was just a way to channel some anger. Now it sounds a little bit more like a life philosophy. Can you describe in your own words what it was then versus what it is now?
Yeah, then I think I needed an outlet, and I needed to, you know, just channel that energy and that anger out. And I ended up actually falling in love with the sport because there's a lot more into it. You can just hit pads like an idiot, or you can actually learn fight strategies and things like that. So I fell in love with the art. And then after that, because I started doing other things, then I used to do French kickboxing, then I changed to Thai boxing. That was a whole other thing with lots of spirituality and all that. You go to Thailand and it's, the whole country breeds with that, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Then more like Western boxing, and then jiu-jitsu, and then it becomes like this whole, you know, palette of colors, and there's a lot you can do with it. But then what changed for me now is that I see it as a tool that can help anybody else in life. So I would like to give this tool to other people, everybody, but precisely women, because I think we need it more than anybody else, because we don't think of ourselves like strong physically or mentally, because we are probably challenged even more in life, just because women, you go through a lot more shit through your body. We still have, you know, we're still treated like shit in many places. We still abused physically, or just somebody looking at you like a freaking piece of meat. So you got to be able to deal with all this little situation, or, you know, do the exact same job with the exact same skill and be paid less, and all these things. And we don't think that we are capable. We don't think that we're strong. We don't know how to speak up or stand up for ourselves. And I want that to be a tool for more women, just like it was for me. Maybe it's not for everybody. Not everybody has to get in the ring and fight. But how about you just learn some confidence and through it, you know? Like build resilience and confidence in your life through martial arts. I have in my Fierce Female program, so I run this Fierce Female program 3 times a week. I started this in 2017 and the program evolved a lot until what it is now. And it's just a bunch of women training together 3 times a week. At the moment, the way it is, on Tuesday morning we do kettlebells, so let's lift some weights and get strong. On Thursday morning we do jiu-jitsu, more like a self-defense perspective. And then on Saturday we do striking. So I just try to offer something that's, you know, hitting all these areas for women. And most of the time when they reach out to inquire about the program, they say that they want to learn, you know, the art and this, and then over the conversation, then they end up telling you, yeah, I want to feel confident.
Yeah.
At the end, that's what they're looking for. Like, one of my girls is an engineer, and sometimes she's in a room full of men, and it's very hard for her to just say, hey, actually, I think this should be great for this project.
Yeah.
Just that, And, you know, earlier you were saying, if I have to say something, I just do it. I had to learn that. And I think martial art taught me that.
Yeah, cool.
Now, if I have to say something, I say it out loud. I try to articulate, even if it's not my language.
Mm-hmm.
And I make sure that when I'm talking, I'm talking. So you know that I'm talking. And it's a thing that you have to learn. You have to earn the space.
Mm.
And I would like women to just feel that.
Yeah.
Martial art is the best way.
Yeah. It sounds like what you're describing is empowerment in the truest sense. You talk
Yes.
about confidence, and you know, you talked about a lot of things there, but it sounds to me, it's not about fuck men, we're pigs. It's like, it's about women feeling empowered in themselves. And you said own the space, but I think maybe I would offer like a little reframe, and it's feels to me that it's more about owning your space. Does that feel accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because as I
your
said,
space, your rules.
yeah, well, that's, as I said, when you talk and you're in the meetings, it's like Tima's in herself. You know, there's a room full of coaches, but I think it's more about the fact that you are so in yourself and in your space that, you know, radiates out and everyone can feel that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that you're telling me now.
Well,
yeah, because it's and we don't know each other for long, you know. So if you could sense that already, it's a good thing. It's something I had to, you know, really work on to be able to just stand up and say, hey, this is who I am.
Yeah.
This is what it is. And it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
For everybody, even, you know, men, but even harder for women. And what also changed for me is that before it was all about crashing men. It's because I think I just didn't have the right example around me. But now, after years, you know, being around different communities, and this one, for example, or my partner, and then you're like, nah, actually, it's there are some really good ones out there. It's not about crashing, man. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It's just me owning my space, regardless of you. And also is like having a different idea of what it is to be empowered and what it is to be feminine or feminist. It's you know, now you see, all right, like if you're walking down the street with your boobs out and you're like, I'm a feminist, fuck that. It's not feminism. I don't think so. I don't feel empowered doing that at all. But being able to express yourself, say the things you have to do, just to say without being judged or anything, do the things you want to do, be treated with respect and equally, and that is empowerment. That is feminism.
Yeah.
This is my space, don't get into it if I don't allow you to.
Yeah. Well, that's what you said before about like wanting to crush men. I think that's the key distinction between owning the space and owning your space. I think that maybe the natural reaction when you start to develop some competence in an area is that you want to go out and prove it. You want to fucking crush people, you know, and it's martial arts, like you said, is a great example of this, but it could be in anything. It's like, I don't know, even in school, you get a little bit good at a subject and then you want to let everyone know how awesome you are because you always got your hands up and you're always like, pick me, pick me, pick me. And it's like, you have this determination once you start to develop a bit of confidence and competence that you feel like you want to own the room and you need to own the room because you can fucking crush people. But then I think the evolution of that is what you're describing, where it's like, no, I own the space within myself and I don't need to prove that to anyone, but I'm confident enough to, you know, be outspoken when I need to, and also hold back, because if I don't have my voice heard, that's not about me. It's kind of about where everyone else is, and you're evolved and mature enough to go, you know what, that's cool. Like, they don't value my perspective. I'll just, you know, do my thing.
Yeah.
That what you've experienced as well? Yeah. What does it mean to be fierce?
It's
because
there's so many words in one, you know.
Yeah.
To be fierce is sturdy.
Sturdy.
That is another word I love.
You like sturdy?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
discovered not long ago what it was. I had to Google it. I was like, what is sturdy? I never heard this before. I was like, Google's like robust, strong, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, ooh, I like this.
Do you associate like masculine or feminine qualities to words? Because fierce, for example, is like, that sounds feminine to me. Sturdy sounds masculine to me. That's just my perspective on it. Do you have that as same? Yeah?
I have the same perspective. Fierce sounds feminine to me.
Yeah.
In reality, it's not really. I think it's both.
Yeah.
But it does sound feminine to me. That's why I like the fierce female. That's what the program's called like that, because it sounds feminine to me. But that's the whole story of finding the balance, and that's pretty tricky. I'm way more on my masculine than I am on my feminine energy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's been the battle for me, is to actually be more on my feminine. I get sometimes better with it, and then I shift again and I go back to that, masculine. And it's I don't know, I think it's just how I grew up. I felt like I had to be in that energy so much that it's hard for me to shift sometimes still.
Yeah.
And just being that, sit back, you're a nurturer, but still. That's difficult. But the whole point of these things is that you can be both. I just feel like for so long we had to choose between being this or that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be both. I want to be able to lift a fucking heavy shit and then have red lipstick on and watch.
Yeah.
Like, I can be both.
Yeah.
If I put my gloves on and I'm sparring with somebody, I'm going to hit you like a dude.
Yeah.
No problem. But then we finish and I'm back into, I take my gloves off and I've got my nails done.
For sure.
It's like you don't have to choose. When I was younger, I was fully a tomboy.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, it was just that I have to go to that side because I don't like this one the way it's sold to me. And now I can choose however I want to have it. So, but I still sometimes struggle.
I was listening to this podcast and they were describing that one of them is a coach and one of them is a nutritionist. And one of the hosts was describing that the energy of the coach is primarily masculine and the energy of the nutritionist is primarily feminine. And the reason they were explaining this was because with nutrition specifically, it's about sort of nurturing people into habit changes, which is a very feminine quality. With coaching, on the other hand, you're trying to order things for people. You're whether or not you actually lay out a path, or generally as a coach, you have some kind of destination that you want to get someone to. And that by definition is a process that you create some order around. So I thought it was a really interesting perspective on the sort of masculine and the feminine energies in both of those things. And I'm sure you would agree with me in the sense that coaching is not all masculine, same way that nutrition is not all feminine.
Yeah. But I understand the point. Yeah, and I agree with that. And it's maybe that's why I got, I found this job too, or this job found me, because there is more of this, masculine energy into it, or I can be more that naturally and it works.
Are there many kind of feminine martial arts coaches?
There are female, you mean?
Well, I say feminine because I don't want to be cancelled.
Yeah, but so that's the thing. That's exactly what I was thinking about when we just, said this thing is because
we're talking about energies here at the end of the day.
Yes, but still, because when I started coaching, I really had to earn people's respect, especially men's respect, right? So I really always had to be in a very, very strong masculine energy. Yeah. Because many times it doesn't happen anymore. I think things have really changed, and I've been doing it for long enough now. But I remember, doing classes, coaching classes, and then people are here 10 minutes before wrapping their hands or whatever, and I'm sitting on the corner, haven't said a word yet. 6 o'clock hits, okay, and then I just start. And I always like to start with a very loud, strong tone and voice. Always. So I just go, I clap my hands and I go, all right, guys, it's 6 o'clock, grab your rope, start skipping. And then I can see faces in the room when they are visitors and they don't know who's coaching, change. Because they're like, oh, she's taking class.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily come to you and introduce themselves as visitors or whatever. But after the class, they do. And that's why I know I earned your respect, motherfucker.
Yeah.
They come to me and I was like, oh, thank you so much. No, I'm just visiting. All of a sudden, now you're, because I didn't actually have the respect just given like that, which it should be, because I'm at that position coaching the class, so it means I know my shit. No, I have to, earn it. So they come to me after, and I feel like I need to come right away with a very strong masculine energy to set the tone.
I so get this. I so get what you're saying.
But it's changing.
Yeah.
It really is changing.
Yeah.
Slow, but it's changing. And it's something I really like. And I like to think that I am part of the change. I like to think that I'm trying to make these things better at my level and within my community, try to make this better. Bring it to schools, or because I really feel like it starts at a young age. I wish I had somebody coming to tell me these things or share these things with me when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I think it would have helped me to see another role model or somebody different to look up to that is a female.
Yeah, well, as I said, I know exactly what you mean. And what comes to mind is a few things. But one is that I think to earn someone's trust, you need to meet them where they're at. So in energetic terms, you need to resonate with a person. And so if you're trying to create trust with someone who has a lot of masculine energy, you need to meet that person where they're at, right?
Yeah.
You need to get on their level. And the same thing can be said if you're coaching one of your female clients and, you need to maybe down-regulate to get on her level. And then there's a trust built. What you said as well about respect, I'm hyper conscious of this recently because I'm also doing some teaching at the moment in high schools, and I don't take anyone's respect for granted, especially not a kid's. And I was literally having this conversation yesterday with another teacher about how I feel that bad teachers assume they deserve respect. And it's like, I've worked as a coach and I don't assume that I deserve anyone's respect. Even if, like you said, we know our shit. It's like, no, like I have to resonate with a person. I have to build a relationship and trust, and then I can show you that I know shit and then you respect me. So I feel that a lot of teachers get out of touch when it's like, they kind of walk in the classroom and they're like, what are you doing? Like, you're a bunch of you need to behave. It's like, to them, they're like, who the fuck are you? And so that idea that respect needs to be earned. And I mean, it's a message you hear all the time, but I think at the core of that is this capacity from the coach or the teacher or the person who is meant to be quote unquote respected. It's that person's capacity to meet the receiver where they're at by shifting their state or shifting their energy to create a resonance.
Yeah.
And it feels to me that's what you're doing with your clients. And it's something that I am consciously doing with my students or with my clients now. I'm like, where are they at? How do I shift my state to them? And then from there, we can build a relationship.
And that's the feminine energy within the coach.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of feminine energy.
It's a good trait. But like, especially when it comes to like teaching martial arts or, bringing that empowerment element into it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think as women will do a better job at doing it. And that's why this is my mission. Because I can get into that level of understanding where these women are at, where they're at today or in their life at that moment, and bring something that is very masculine, very in your face, in a gentle way.
Yeah.
So that they can build strength and resilience within the program or in that time, which I find that a man is a lot harder for them to do.
Yeah, it can be a bit overbearing, right?
With women.
Yeah.
And that's why you have a lot of girls coming into jiu-jitsu classes, trying and never coming back.
Yeah.
It's like, if there is one sport every single woman should be doing, is jiu-jitsu. Because you learn to actually defend yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to compete, you don't have to do it every day, but you should be learning jiu-jitsu. Like, it should be in schools or whatever. But they come into class and they made that step to like, I'm going to try this. It was already hard to make it there. And then they get absolutely crashed or misunderstood or not led the proper way to understand the art by a man. Not his fault.
Yeah. Just his approach is
Yes.
biased, probably unconsciously, towards other men.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's
I know
like,
exactly what you mean.
damn, she never came back.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, this is like, she made the first step, which was the hardest. And that's why I want to like do this fierce female thing more, or jiu-jitsu for girls only, or the purpose is not to have a girls club where they're not going anywhere else. The purpose is just for them to start with the best conditions, to pass that beginning where it's a little bit rough, and then go do classes. Like, I always want them to do normal classes, not just train with girls.
Yeah.
Because that's the value in it.
Yeah,
Is
sure.
I'm just here to facilitate the way. Go train with mixed classes. That's what I want for you. I don't want to keep you here. Then some may just stay because this is the best way for them. So I would rather have you doing that than not that stopping fully.
Yeah, I would say that you could say that a mark of a great coach is someone who can create an environment, particularly in a martial arts setting, where both, men and women are participating freely and fully, because I even see it in schools a lot. Like, I'm teaching at a co-ed school, but there's massive segregation. And this is just in schools to learn about maths, right? But the segregation is real. And it's like, if you're a really good teacher, you can create an environment in a way where there isn't segregation, where you don't have boys on one side of the room and girls on the other. That is a hard thing to do, a really hard thing to do. I want to share with you my jiu-jitsu experience.
Tell me.
Um,
Did you go back?
I went to like 3 classes.
Okay.
So I can pretty much kill someone now. A couple of things. One was, I feel like I'm someone who, as a coach, likes to provide context around why we're doing the thing. And so my experience with this particular jiu-jitsu class was like, we were learning a skill, but I didn't understand the skill's application. So it's like, all right, you do this ankle lock thing. And I'm like, how do we go from like looking at each other to like, we're sitting down in an ankle lock? So I didn't understand it. So it was really difficult for me to kind of like apply the thing. The second thing was when there was like this sort of rolling section, and like when you don't know anything, like a roll is like, I don't know, how would you describe it? It's just fucking whatever.
Protein shake.
Yeah, exactly. That's whatever. It was just like, it was that, right? So I was rolling with
Yeah.
another guy who was like, kind of like me, who'd done maybe a few more classes. So he maybe knew a little bit more. But I used to watch a lot of pro wrestling as a kid. So like, like the arm bars and whatnot, all the fake stuff. You would call it fake. I would call it sports entertainment. But anyway, and I ended up getting this guy in like an arm bar, and I started yanking on his arm, and he tapped out, and I got way more scared of that than me tapping. Like, it was almost like when I made someone tap, I realized how ignorant I was with the techniques. And I realized because I was ignorant that I could actually really hurt someone. And this is not to say that I'm confident or I'm a killer. It's to say that I was so ignorant. I was so belligerently incompetent that I could genuinely hurt someone.
Yeah.
And it kind of scared me a little bit.
Yeah. But see, like, there's many things that you said in this, like these 3 classes, right? It's first, for sure, like, you feel very intimidated and vulnerable going there, and then you're like, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. Then you start, and then you're like, okay, I'm doing this footlock or whatever it is. And I don't understand the context, so I don't understand how I get there. But then that's just how jiu-jitsu's journey starts.
Sure.
Like, if you go religiously for, 4 times a week or whatever, for the biggest part of your first 6 months. That's the feeling.
Yeah.
You just have to be really patient.
Sure.
The feeling is I'm lost. I'm not sure how I got there or how to get, and then, oh, I forgot about what I did yesterday already. So it takes time. And then all of a sudden you have one day where things starts clicking and you're like, oh, I went from this to that. So I managed to connect two things.
Yeah, you created a bit of a chain. Yeah.
So at the beginning you just have this huge puzzle and nothing is going with nothing. When I started, like just the fact that I had to put my gi on was weird. Like, I need to get changed and put my gi on. And then you don't even know how to tie up your belt at the beginning and things like that. And class after class, and it's hard. It doesn't get any easy. The progression is very, very slow. So you have to be very patient to pass that stage,
Are there teachers you found that have given that context? Because I kind of put it down to just the culture of this particular gym.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that's the case in most places. You do things in isolation until one day it clicks.
So first, yes, like you do things in isolation until one day it clicks, but there is like kind of old school jiu-jitsu type of teaching and new wave.
Describe
right?
them.
It's actually it has changed a lot the last few years, where we talk more about concepts rather than talking about a single technique.
Yes, cool.
Like people would talk about, I don't know, we're going to do this precise pass. No, we're going to look at passing the knee line that way, and then we're going to clear the hip line, and then we're going to
and we do this because ... Yeah.
Things have evolved.
Yeah.
The way they are, being taught. So there's more concepts. Also, there's more gyms now. So you have to, be more structured to keep your students. So now they actually have curriculums, and they have proper structures for weeks where we're doing this and then we're doing this block. So things are connected. It's not like, the black belt gets there and is like, what am I going to do today? Oh, let's do this.
Yeah,
this is how it used to be. It's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
So things have changed. You have more progression and phases and cycles within what you learn, which is a good thing. And then also I think something that has changed as well and still need to change more is when you're just starting jiu-jitsu and you're doing your first week, you shouldn't be rolling.
Yeah, right.
You should not be rolling. First, you don't know
Yeah.
at all what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Second, you definitely have really high chances of hurting yourself. For me personally, when I started, we were still rolling straight away, even at white belt. Then, you get blue or whatever, and at the beginning you still say yes to a roll to a fresh white belt. Then I learned to say no.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to hurt myself too.
Sure.
Because that person is actually going to hurt me because they have no idea of how to move.
And that's why I was scared. Yeah.
Yes. So ideally, you shouldn't be rolling straight away. You should be training for a little while, doing lots of drills, practicing movements, repeating them, drilling. Then you get to start rolling with specific positions or intentions. Then you start rolling. And that you see that more and more and more in academies.
Yeah.
So it's evolving, right? It's you probably have a better experience now that you did before.
Yeah, well, I think at the time in my life, I was like, and maybe it's still there, but it's just like, man, I'm a man and I feel like I need to channel this competitive energy. Like I need
to toughen up, mate.
Yeah, for sure. That's what it is. I'm fucking little bitch. You heard it here first. Yeah, I mean, I feel that. And so, like, when you're a kid, at least in Australia, you play competitive sport. Like, you grow up, you play soccer on the weekends, and it's like, you do it because you're a kid and you're Australian and you play sport, but, like, it's actually a really great outlet. For, say, particularly you're a teenage boy and you, like, have all this fucking testosterone and, like, all this energy. You need an outlet. And you get older and you start working and it's like you don't do the organized sport anymore. And I've definitely felt a hole in my life, and I kind of thought that the jiu-jitsu thing would help fill it. And granted, I'm sure if I gave it a chance, it would. As I said, I just haven't kind of gone back to it yet.
It wasn't the right time.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe it wasn't the right time. But like every time people talk about it, of course I hear and see the value in it, because what I actually hear is not necessarily like the specifics, techniques and whatnot. I hear like how it applies to, what you talked about, managing energies and stress and problem solving
completely problem solving.
Yeah, and apparently like there are a bunch of nerds in jiu-jitsu as well.
Yes, and they do very well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They look like a friggin' noodle.
Yeah.
They have no strength, no, like, it's like and they are so good. But
'cause they're smart.
If they get a grip, they don't just get a grip. They know exactly why they get this grip, because they're going to this next and that next. They know how to, play with leverage, and
That'd be so annoying as well, wouldn't it?
Yes, they are so annoying, and they are very good jiu-jitsu players because they are thinking about it.
Yeah.
They're nerds, and it's for the physical, and it's for the non-physical person. It works for both.
Yeah.
And you develop very different styles, right? I'm a pressure passer. If I pull a grip on you and drive my head in, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But that's my style, right? And then you go through phases. Like now I'm learning to be probably less physical in my jiu-jitsu and more relaxed and more, also because I'm getting older. I've got to take care of my body,
I was listening as well. I remember listening to a podcast, and this guy on the podcast, super smart guy, you might describe him as a nerd, but anyway, he was talking about how he believes that the way you do jiu-jitsu is the way that you do life. And I like cut you off there because I was like, you started talking about the way you do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you agree with that statement?
Yeah.
Give me some examples.
Well, you just, let's say, you don't feel like you have anything to prove to people anymore, and you're more relaxed with who you are. And you roll a lot more relaxed too. You don't have to, you can let go of position.
Which is where you're at now.
This position, not exactly. I still don't give you the position. But that's just because I'm like, okay, I have to try it.
Sure.
But at least that's my intention.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that I would like to get there and be more relaxed in the way I roll, and like I'm doing it and I'm thinking about it. And I would have never thought about it before. So things are definitely evolving, and it means that I want my jiu-jitsu to actually be better, because then I'm relying on my jiu-jitsu only. It's very easy to rely as well on your strength when you're strong, but then it doesn't work with everybody.
Well, it's also easy to rely on your strength when it's like being the thing that's worked, and like it's almost easier now because being passive is scary, I suppose. It's like that idea that when you started out, you just wanted to crush men. It's like the idea that you would relax into your feminine at that time was probably like, that's
no way.
Yeah. So strength, while it's this great expression of capability, to relate it to jiu-jitsu, it can also become this crutch and this thing that you're overly reliant on because you can't express elsewhere.
Yeah. That's what happened to me with Muay Thai.
Yeah.
That's why I had a break.
Yeah.
I got to a point where it was when I was here. I had a couple fights or something, and then I was training very hard because I had one scheduled, and then the girl I was fighting pulled out. So no camp, you go through that little depression because all you do is you train. And then anyway, I'm just gonna keep training, but emotionally, I was going through a rough time because it was a moment where I was getting to a really, really big rupture with my father. And then you just want to train more.
Yeah.
Because that's just your outlet.
Yeah.
And I remember hitting pads with my coach, and I had to stop because first I couldn't focus. I couldn't be in what I was doing, and that's why I loved martial arts so much, because my head is not anywhere else. It's there. It's my meditation. It's the only time my brain gets
that totally makes sense to me as well, especially if, like you said, you got someone coming at you and you're like, fuck, what am I going to do?
You have to be there. And that was really helpful for me. But then I got to a point where I couldn't go through my session. I had to stop because every time I wanted to kick the pads, I felt like I was going to cry. And it was hard for me to hold it in. So I was like, I have to stop. And I had a break after for a while because I thought, I'm not doing this for the right reason right now. It's too much of an outlet, like an emotional outlet, so I'm actually not dealing with it. Like I should be able to just sit down and cry if I want to cry. And then I just couldn't train. I couldn't. It was too hard for me because it would just bring it up rather than helping me push it down.
Yeah, right.
So I had to have a break. And at that time I was like, oh, maybe I can start some jiu-jitsu. Like you find a replacement, right?
Yeah.
But then I could see it,
Yeah,
and
well,
then start working through it a different way.
the tool that you were using to push stuff down stopped working for you.
Yes, it stopped working. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, and you needed other tools.
Yeah.
I know you're going to get cracking soon. I want to ask you, how do you think because you won something big recently, right? How do you, like an overarching theme, how did you win it? Like, explain, was it because you were more passive? Was it like, what sort of mindset did you embody, like, going into that? And, like, have you thought about the process that you deployed to do that thing? I imagine every fight was different, but is there an overarching theme with that?
I think I felt supported. So this word thing was a big thing, right? I had to fundraise money and all that to go. So I had a lot of support from community here and clients and things. But for the first time, I actually had support from one part of my family. And that really meant a lot to me. So when I went there, I was injured. I hurt my shoulder a week before I left. So that was like crazy drama in my head. I trained so hard and I fundraised the money and I'm here and I can't roll. My first week there at camp, I couldn't roll.
Wow.
So I was like, this is not happening. And then my shoulder started to get a bit better. I was like, okay, I'm just going to manage the pain and see how we go. And then I got to the tournament. My division was fighting on the third day. So I had 2 days to get used to the atmosphere. So I would watch people fighting and then I would sit in front of the podium and just look at it for a very long time. My partner was coming, he would come, he's like, what are you doing? I'm just visualizing. He's like, don't put pressure on yourself. I'm like, no, I'm not. I got to see myself there.
Yeah.
Like it happened. I need to see. It was crazy, but I had to sit there and see myself there.
Yeah.
And then when I was in, you weigh in and you get into the bullpen and you just wait there until you're done with your division. So I was on the bullpen and my mom left me a voice message. And I was just listening to that voice message on repeat. Somehow, I don't know, I programmed my brain into this is mine and it's nobody else. I didn't do this whole thing, not now to come to this. My whole life, this 20 plus years that I've been doing this fight thing, I didn't do it for nothing. I did it for this day.
Damn.
And I really, you try to program yourself. My first match, I went there thinking one fight at a time, let's see. And I ended up crashing my first match. And after my first one, that's when I believed that it was mine and nobody was going to take it. So I had literally, apparently, because my friends were looking at me, apparently I had eyes like I was going to kill people.
Yeah, right.
I was in a zone.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Wow.
And I just pushed myself one after another. And then I was like, okay, now you saw it. Now you're standing on the podium. Because I knew I made podium. But now it could be silver, it could be gold, I don't know. And then I decided that color around my neck was gold. The last match was really tough, but I don't know. I just, I used everything I had because it wasn't going to go to anybody else than me, not just because of the comp. I felt like that was the resume of my whole life.
Damn.
That I had to win. It meant more than just winning the world championship. It actually meant that I won everything that I fought for before.
Damn. Was it what you imagined when you stood up there?
It took me a while to realize that. It took me a while to realize that. It was me, and I did it. I was up there, and I was still like not believing in it. Like I didn't even think I would roll a week before. My shoulder was bad. I just didn't get anybody to touch that shoulder, actually. Yeah, really. I didn't get into any position where my shoulder would be compromised.
Wow.
I don't know. I had the help of however you want to call it. I'll call it God. You call it whatever you want. But I think it was, that energy was behind me. And I I can't explain it. I just had to win for my life.
Do you believe it now?
It's very foreign, you know. It's like, yeah, I won, but does it change anything for me right now? Not really. I still do what I love doing, and I'll still do what I do, and I don't think it makes me any better than anybody else. I just got a new belt, so now I'm back to
Square one.
Yeah. It's martial arts, you know. You won it on that day, but it doesn't mean you're the best. You were the best on that day. So,
well, Tima, this has been awesome.
Thank you very much.
You're a fucking badass.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
You're such a... You got to man up.
I got to man up. I'm cutting that part out. No, I'll leave it in there.
It's actually lovely to feel that energy and be heard that way, you know.
Yeah.
It's a very good, it's a very rare, you know, skill, and it's really good. You should absolutely, and I know you do.
Loud and clear.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, love it and own it, because it's not an easy thing to. But it's not easy. It's not common.
Well, you're doing a good job at it. Keep it up. Speak soon.